Welcome back to the Tidarium Hangar. This is Jeff Foxworthy, or a terrible impersonation done by Mike. But this is going to be You Might Be a Toy Collector If video. Now, you might know me from all these other You Might Be If kind of stand-up comedy routines. But I'm here over here with Mike talking about some toys. And we're going to get into all of this. And hopefully you have a laugh. You have some fun. You need to be over 13. But you need to be under 50 or you might get offended if you watch the rest of this coming up. Now, the criteria for you to be a toy collector is you just got to hit one of these. You don't got to hit all 12 or 15. I don't even know how many's on the list. You got to hit one of them. So if you've ever driven out of town to buy a toy or an action figure or a collection, you know you got a problem. I mean, you know you might be a toy collector. And Mike, what do they call it when they buy a bunch of these toys? They call it a haul, right? This is a toy collecting haul. If you drive, a haul is also, you're going to be in for a long haul, driving a long way to get some toys from Chile. It is not pronounced Chile. Next, if you've ever cleaned an action figure or toy using your shirt more than once and you know you're gonna do it again, you might be a toy collector. You just don't have all kinds of rags and sprays in your collection area, do you? I mean, do you, Mike? No, you don't. Next one right here. If you've ever missed work to pre-order an action figure or any sort of toy, you might be a toy collector. Now, I'm running out of excuses to miss work. You know, number one, I'm running out of dead relatives. Only so many aunts and uncles can die in a said given year. So I guess it's a pretty good excuse to miss work to pre-order an action figure. You know, a Coldar figure. Coldar drinks a cold one. All right, next up. This next one's really good here. If you've never been to an Ollie's and you don't have an Ollie's in your town or anywhere near you at all, but you know what they got on the toy aisle even better than the people that actually shop there, you might be a toy collector. Now, who doesn't have an Ollie's around? I go to Ollie's every day, 2-3 times a day. Still don't buy anything, but I got an Ollie's and I gotta go to it. Because the stuff there, it's cheap. I don't say everybody wants the stuff that's there, but it's cheap. If you've ever, and I say ever, skipped a meal to buy yourself an action figure or a toy, then you might be a toy collector. And that's all there is to it. Wait, what do you say? Did you just say nobody ever does that? Nobody skips a meal to buy a toy? I mean, you could save $20 a meal, right? 20 bucks, $60. You go get yourself a Coldar. You keep complaining about a Coldar, Mike. Go buy yourself a Coldar. Then I'll go have me a cold one. Can't talk about Ollie's unless you talk about Ross. Now, if you've ever been to all 6 of your Ross Dress for Less locations in your city in one day and never bought one article of clothing, but yet you think it's a success because you found yourself a toy, you might be a toy collector and you might have a problem. Come think of it, I can't think of the last time I bought a garment, a piece of clothing at Ross. It says it right on the building, but I forget they even have clothes there. All right, next one. If you've ever been to a convention that sells comics, I believe they call it a comic convention, and you went there to buy yourself some toys or action figures, you might be a toy collector. I'll tell you what, I just been to one of these, and I think these toy collectors, they live in a good life because they're not going for the toys. They're not going for the comics. They're going for the girls in the cosplay. You know what I mean? Can they really dress like that? Is that right? Is it legal? Is that legal? Well, I've seen this stuff on the outskirts of town. What they do, that's legal. But I didn't know it's legal right in the middle of town. In the Comic-Con. Okay, let's get down to some brass tacks here. If you've got more than 20 pre-orders at BBTS or at Entertainment Earth or anywhere you pre-order your stuff, you might be a toy collector. So I'm guessing this arbitrary number of 20 doesn't really mean anything. If you got 12, you might be a toy collector too. If you got 100, you got a problem, but you definitely are a toy collector. Anyhow, Mike says he got like 53 pre-orders. He says that's down from what it used to be. That's a good thing, right? Is that a good number? Is 53 a good number? What do you think? 53? Who's got more than 53? I bet a lot of people out there. All right, next one I think I can get with this one. This is about trucks. If you see a truck and it reminds you of a toy, you're like, that is the Kenner Mask Rhino, you might be a toy collector. No, that's not just any old truck. That's Kenner Mask Rhino. The first thought that comes into your head is this could be an Optimus Prime. Is this from the 4th movie or the 8th movie? One of them movies. This could have been that Optimus Prime, right? You might be a toy collector. Well, if you truly were a toy collector, you know this wasn't Optimus Prime. Alright, so this one here is if you've ever been to a store that you don't really like and you don't plan to buy anything, like let's say a Halloween store and you're not going to dress up for Halloween. But you go there because it used to be a Toys R Us. You might be a toy collector. Brings back all the memories when you were in there thinking, I could get it for $3 cheaper at the Walmart, but you still are at the Toys R Us because they were $3 overpriced. They still had them on the shelves. You just went there to look. It's kind of like window shopping at Toys R Us. Anyway, Toys R Us isn't around anymore, but they make them into Halloween City, into the Ollies, and they make them into these other things out there. Some of these Amazon junk bin kind of return sale kind of stores. You know what I mean. If you happen to keep any random item brand new, mint in the package for absolutely no reason, it's not going to make the value of a $1.25 flashlight from the Dollar Tree any more valuable with that packaging. You know you're not going to return it. You lost the receipt 3 weeks ago, and it's only $1.25. Why is it still in the package 4 years later? You might be a toy collector. It's just a habit. Alright, now this one here, this is a good one. Alright, so if your wife sends you to the Walmart and you got yourself a nice long list of stuff to get and you don't get any of it because you found yourself a toy and you're leaving with that said toy. Well, hold up now. You know, it's been about a month and a half, 2 months since I bought something at the Walmart, toy-wise. Like, that's not really accurate. Let's fix this and let's be a little bit more accurate. Now, if your wife sends you to the Target and you got a list of stuff to get from the Target, but you actually find a toy at the Target and you forget to buy your other stuff, you might be a toy collector. I just want to say, I get lucky at the Target all the time. Well, and then toy collectors, they find toys at Target all the time. My getting lucky at Target has nothing to do at all with toys. Alright, this one here, this one's kind of funny. If you want to commemorate your favorite scene from one of your favorite movies, and the best way you can think to do it is to buy yourself an action figure, you might be a toy collector. I gotta tell you, these toy collectors have a lot of fun. I can definitely get behind this one right here. It's a 2-pack. They call it a play set. There's a lot of playing going on right there. Isn't that Red Foreman from that 70s show? We ate lunch one time. Alright, lastly, if your hands are too dirty to review an action figure or to even mess with your action figures because you've changed out your brake pads on your car or your truck, you might be a toy collector. What are you talking about, Mike? You don't do any actual work around here? All you do is sit around and talk about toys? This has been the easiest gig I've ever had in my life sitting around here talking about toys, having a little bit of fun. Now I'm going to throw me back some cold ones, but you can go watch some Jeff Foxworthy, real Jeff Foxworthy, here on the YouTube. And this has been a very terrible impersonation of me. Let me know what you guys think about this video. Did you like some of these things? Do you do any of this stuff? Do you find yourself doing any of this stuff? Because you might be a toy collector. If you can add to this list, I like a good laugh myself. Like and subscribe. Todd here, Hanger out.